What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour here on 990 WBOB, the number one radio program for all things Bryant athletics. I'm Brian Costa reporting to remotely. I'm joined alongside, as always, by Matthew Carvalho in our Sprout co-working studios. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Oh, Brian, I am doing great. It's great to talk to you tonight. As we got a lot to talk to with those Bryant Bulldogs.
Absolutely, Matt. I know that we have some great guests coming up in just a couple minutes. I'll highlight those in just a couple seconds, but I do just want to say it's great to be back on the air again. It is our 10th episode already with the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour. It's a tremendous accomplishment to get here. Matt, I'm glad to have you on for this episode. I know Tristan started this thing off with episode 1. I've been happy to carry the mantle the past 9 episodes. It's been a ton of fun so far, and can't wait to get into it.
Absolutely, Brian. We're glad to have gotten to this point, and you're doing a great job. You're carrying up that tremendous mantle that the one and only Tristan Hobbs has set.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, just coming up in a couple short minutes, we'll be joined alongside by some great athletes and coaches. In our first segment, men's basketball player and America East champion Aaron Davis will join us to preview his team's upcoming season. Obviously, they'll be looking to try to defend that America East championship amidst a new coaching change, some different changes to the roster, to the league. So they'll be looking into that. And then, as always, at 8:30, we'll have Coach Chris Merritt from the Bryant football team joining us to break down their game against Brown. And then also their special shout out from Super Bowl champion head coach John Gruden. We'll talk about all that and more. And then in our final segment, we'll be joined alongside by women's basketball player Jaida Guerra to talk about her first year in Smithfield and that transition. But yeah, Matt, it's going to be a great episode. We got some great guests in store for everyone. But before we get into that, I just want to say first things first, single game tickets for Bryant Athletics can be purchased at BryantBulldogs.com for all sporting events for the fall, and then looking forward into the winter as well. And then, the first thing that we'll start off with, Matt, and I think it's important to talk about, we kind of previewed it at the end of Tom's show, was the Bryant men's soccer team right now is number 3 in the nation. Last week we were, I think, flabbergasted might be the best word, besides ourselves. Like, I couldn't believe when they were number 5 in the nation, because that's unheard of territory. And each week it proceeds to get crazier. They're now up to number 3 in the nation. They have the nation's longest winning streak with 11 straight games. They're 11-0-1, and we mentioned at the top of the hour that that one loss was in that game against Long Island. It was the 1-1 draw. But since then, they've rattled off 11 straight wins, and they kept it going again this weekend when they trounced UAlbany with a 5-0 victory. Albany, it was a great first half. They were scoreless at the half, and then coming out of it, Bryant was absolutely on fire. They would rattle off 4 goals in 5 minutes, and then would end the score 5-0 with Jaime Amaro, who we spoke with last week, Paco Fernandez, Mark Pitarch, Jorge Rodriguez, and Mamadi Gianna, all scoring goals in the victory. And then Gianna was named America East Offensive Player of the Week after picking up a goal and an assist in the win over the Great Danes. So things are looking really awesome for the Bulldogs right now. They are flying high, and right now, top 3 in the nation. The new men's soccer coaches poll will come out tomorrow, and I think right now it's going to be tough for them to have any further movement. I think there's a chance maybe Vermont gets bumped into that number 1 spot and Bryant goes to number 2, and maybe Stanford drops down to number 3. But Stanford won this week, and with all things considered, they're probably likely to stay in that spot, all things considered. And then at this point, I wouldn't see it likely that Bryant's going to probably move past Vermont until they play each other in 12 days. Just because Vermont's the national champion, I think that the coaches poll is going to show respect to that. And Vermont is still undefeated in their own right. I know they're 8-0-3 with 3 draws, but they still haven't lost a game either. And I think it's going to come down to that game on Saturday, October 25th. That's going to be the highest rated, highest level game in Bryant's campus history, just based on the precedent of it all, with 2 top, potentially 3 teams going at it. So it's going to be an awesome thing to see when that goes down, less than 2 weeks time. But yeah, Matt, just again, like, the stakes get upped every single week. I can't even believe that this is happening. Just what are your thoughts on all this with Bryant now being number 3 in the nation?
Well, I'll say first, Brian, I do think that if this team, they got 2 top 10 teams coming up on their schedule. I mean, if you beat both of those teams, I think you can make the argument of this team potentially being the number 1 team in the country. I don't think that's out of the conversation yet. And I don't even think it really regards what Stanford does. I think if you win those 2 games and you win those top 10 matchups, I think this team could be the best team in the entire country.
Yeah, I don't think, listen, and I don't think that's necessarily off the table. I think it's also going to depend on what those other teams do during that time. Because I think, listen, if the standings hold and Bryant beats number 9 Princeton and then number 2 Vermont, I think that at that point they should get that number 1 spot. That should at that point be just given to them. That seems like kind of a formality at that point. But it's really going to matter on how the rest of the standings kind of hold. I know that looking at Vermont's schedule, they are coming off a 0-0 tie against UMass Lowell. But then this Saturday, they're going to go play New Hampshire at UNH. And UNH obviously has always been a highly touted team in their own right. I know that they've been competitive for those America East championships before. They had a really good match against Bryant in the conference championship. 2 years ago when Bryant ended up winning the championship up at Durham. And, I think that that's going to be a highly competitive match. And if UNH gets the upset, Vermont could drop out of that ranking. And then maybe that if Bryant were to pick up a win in that situation, it might not be valued as highly. But still, I think if the defending national champions come into your building and you beat them, that should do something for your ranking. I think you're right there. But yeah, I think that right now, this is just the tough place you get into with the national coaches poll, and it's a good problem to have, honestly. It's a great problem to have that, you're in this situation, and it's tough to get that kind of movement. But I think that when you look at Bryant going forward, if they can keep this up, the conference is obviously the goal right now. That's, on everyone's table. But when there's a potential at-large bid still in the works right now, I think that Bryant can still be mindful of that and know that they might have that in their back pocket if they keep this kind of play going.
100%. And either way, this is certainly a historic season, and just can't wait to see those matchups and to see how they compare to other top quality teams and how they play, because it's certainly going to be a preview of what the rest of the season is going to be.
Yeah, and I think that it's just incredible to see how this team has been kind of, brought together. I think, you had some players from last year that were able to come back and be contributors. When you look at, for example, Mark Pitarch, who was on fire for Bryant last season. He's been a great contributor since Coach Rubin brought him into this program. And then, you look at some of the new faces like Jaime Amaro. You look at Gianna, who came over from UAlbany, had a revenge game on Friday. So I think that there's a lot of factors that are playing into this. And the fact that you're getting to see that kind of a payoff is really good. I think that, this third year now for Coach Ruben Resendez, getting all those transfers to hit, getting the players that he wants into this program and recruiting the team that he wants, you're finally seeing it now. And you're seeing that, at Bryant, great things like this are possible. It's not a matter of, the size of the school or the funds or anything like that. Bryant University is able to compete with the best of the best, and that's what they're showing every single week. And it's exciting to see, because I think that some of the guys I mentioned, like Jaime Amaro, we talked with him, and he hasn't been used to being a top goal scorer, and he's now not just the top goal scorer on the team; he's the top goal scorer in the conference. So I mean, you see that, and then they're able to go in and adjust. Even when things aren't going their way, they're tied 0-0 at halftime with UAlbany, and they don't get down on themselves. They come out and they are on fire to start a second half. So I think when you see things like that going their way, the sky is the limit for that team. So it's going to be really exciting to see what they can do going forward. I'm really excited for what they have, in this last stretch of the schedule. I think I have their schedule up right now, if I can pull it up. So following the Vermont game, we talked about that, the upcoming games for them. Following Vermont, there's only 2 more regular season games left. They'll be hosting NJIT at home on Halloween, and then on November 4th, they'll be at New Hampshire. So that'll be the end of the America East regular season. It'll be on to the playoffs after that. And then, for the America East, it wouldn't be uncommon to see multiple teams in the NCAA tournament. I know in the 2023 season when Bryant won the America East Championship, Bryant hosted the home game against Yale, and then Vermont and New Hampshire both made it. I think that was when New Hampshire was ranked number 10 in the country. So I think that it's not uncommon to see multiple America East teams in this position. So we'll have to see how it all works out. But Matt, I know we're up against a commercial break right now. We'll get over to that in just a second. But when we are back, we're going to be joined alongside by Bryant men's basketball player Aaron Davis. Can't wait to talk with him about the new program that they got going on there in Smithfield with Coach Christian, and how that's all going to shape up for men's hoops in less than 3 weeks. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. You're listening to 990 WBOB. You're listening to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour here on 990 WBOB. Brian Costa, Matthew Carvalho. We're about to be joined by our first guest of the evening, but before we get into that, we just want to say that tonight's broadcasts are brought to you from Sprout Co-working. For all your co-working needs, from large meetings, office for a day, working remotely, events, or just trying to get away from the distractions at home, Sprout Co-working in Providence, Rhode Island is the place for you, the official co-working home of 990 WBOB. And now we're about to be joined by our first guest of the evening. But before we do that, we have to just pay the bills here real quick. Tonight's guest is brought to you on behalf of the Sprout Co-working phone lines. For all your co-working needs, large or small, visit sproutcoworking.com. Now on the phone line is Bryant men's basketball player Aaron Davis. AD, glad to have you on the program. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you here. Well, hey, it's been a while, I think, since maybe some in the local media have had a chance to talk with you. I know some crazy things have kind of transpired in your world over these past couple months since March Madness and everything has gone down. Just talk to us about how everything's been.
Everything's been good. Obviously the coaching change, going through that was a long process. Whether if I was gonna hit the portal or not, but we see that, JC got the head coaching job, and talking to him, he had a good plan for me and he trusted me. So I feel like it was a good decision to stay, and we have a good collective group as a team. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I know
so far.
Yeah, I was about to say, we talked with Coach Christian a couple weeks ago, and he really commended you and Jakai and Khalil and the rest of the players that have stuck with the program amidst this coaching change. He talked about that he had a similar situation his senior year of college at Mount St. Mary's, and he really commended you he was saying he really commended you guys as men for sticking with the program and sticking through that. Just talk about that decision. What led you, you talked about maybe looking at the portal, different things like that. What led you to saying that you wanted to stick with Bryant and stay in Smithfield?
I just felt like it was just a good decision. Just talking to Coach Christian, he really believed in me, and I feel like I really needed like that coach to believe in me and be hard on me and show that he cares for me, and not just me, just like for the whole team as well. And that was really just like the main process, just trying to see like what was my best fit for this upcoming year. And I felt like staying at Bryant and having this year would be good for me. And that was really the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. For yourself now, you're getting into your third year with the team now. You've been, it's kind of a different kind of role for you now. I know the past couple of years you were kind of maybe one of the newer faces on the team, but now you're one of the more established vets with the group, and welcoming in some of the newer faces to this team and showing them the ropes of Bryant and everything like that. Just how has that kind of been in that kind of a role?
It feels crazy. Because, I was just a freshman 2 years ago. It felt like, because everything just goes by so quickly. And now looking like I'm one of the older guys now. So I got to teach the younger dudes, like what to do right, what to do wrong. I'm sorry, like what's right from wrong. Just really being like a leader on the team, because I'm one of the older guys. And just being a leader.
Yeah. For yourself, obviously, we got to see you have some great moments last year. I think one of the stretches that I'll remember most was that road trip at UMBC and NJIT, where you stepped up and had some big moments for the team, with back-to-back double-digit performances. For yourself, obviously, that was a great moment for yourself. Just what has been some things you've tried to improve on personally in your game this offseason?
I'll probably just say making my game consistent. Shooting the ball at a high rate. I'm always trying to get the extra work in to like show that on the court when we play. And I really talked to like Coach Chris and like what he wants out of me, like to make the team better, make me look better as a player. And it was really just like keeping the game simple and like making the right decisions. So I just been working on that, and it's been making like the team as a collective look good, making me look good. So I just been really like focused on that, just making the right decisions. When is it right to like make this, take this shot, not to take the shot, maybe give it up, set a screen, or just move the ball around. So I just been really focused on that.
Yeah. When you look at Coach Christian and this new staff, obviously it's a different grouping than than the outgoing staff. Not in any sort of positive or negative way, but just in terms of stylistically, just talk about what's kind of different with this coaching regime and their kind of philosophy versus the previous staff.
I really feel like I'll probably say we're more like as a collective, like for the coaches, like they're like harder on us. Not saying like previous years they weren't, but like I feel like this year like they're really focused on like really being hard on us, make sure we're very detailed with everything. Really just when we make mistakes, they're really hard on us. So we gotta learn from our mistakes. So really just like focusing on that's like a big difference from this year and then last year. Some of our like defensive strategies are different. So just really like, it's really just like trying to get like, like of the new things that we're going through, like it's different from the previous year. So just trying to figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I've talked with Coach Christian too, and he said that it's going to be kind of a different look to this team. The play style is going to look a little bit differently. We've gotten it from the coach's perspective, but from your perspective of playing in both systems, just how has that adjustment been for you?
The adjustment's been very different because like now we're like Coach Christian like wants us to like move the ball around and just keep moving the ball, getting our flow. That's really like what he's been like really like on point with us with, just moving the ball around. And I feel like the past 2 years, maybe we were just reliant like on a one-on-one kind of game, or like when our plays broke down, like we were just so like relying just on one player. And I feel like this year it's like all of us could score and all of us can make plays for each other. So I really feel like that's a big difference that we have this year than like previous years.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, we talked about you being a veteran on this team, having the ability to, have those past experiences. Obviously, last year, you were a part of that group that was able to go to March Madness. I know that for a stretch of the season, you were battling some injuries and were out for some time, but you still were able to, play in that Michigan State game, experience all that. Just being a part of that run and getting to experience that, just what did that teach you as a player? And, how do you kind of look to it? Just, well, first off, what did that kind of teach you as a player, that whole experience with March Madness and everything?
That experience was crazy. I'll start off with that. That's an experience I would never take for granted. But what I learned as a player was really, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest, like there's levels to it. So I gotta like, I guess, be in the gym more, or I gotta like really like be tough on myself and like really focus on the game, be very detailed, and probably just being like more mature. Because as I'm getting older now, I really got to show that. So I'll probably say those things. Those things like really help me as a player and grow.
Absolutely. And then, having that experience, obviously, you are just one of a couple players on this team now. Obviously, the returning scholarship guys on from the team and the non-scholarship guys as well have that experience. You look at Chakai, who had the experience of his March Madness run with Miami. You look at Quincy Allen, who came in here and had his albeit he was hurt, he was still a part of that JMU squad who went dancing, 2 years ago. For that, just when you look at some of these newer players that are coming in, what is something that, you'll try to tell them about that experience and help prepare them for, what that kind of battle of an America East, gauntlet looks like to get there?
It's crazy because like we've all been like we've all been like, as soon as we like all got on campus, we was talking about like we're going dancing, like we're going back to March Madness. And I feel like for like people that didn't experience that, like that's making them like push harder to be better. And us as a collective group, like we really want to get there. And because that March Madness, that experience is just one of a kind. So we've really been like focused on getting to March Madness, and that's where we want to end up. So like all of us having that mindset together as a team is really gonna bring us far.
Absolutely. And then, the grind starts again in 3 weeks. It's coming up, with that November 3rd game against Siena. I know that there will be some implications on that, with Coach Christian and everything with him going back to there.
Yeah.
Just, for you, just how excited are you to get back, on the floor again?
I've never been more excited I can't wait. I have it on my calendar, November 3rd, Siena. I can't wait for that game. We've really just been focusing on getting ready for the season. We've all been like very, very detailed with everything we do. And me as a player, I just want to show people that like I'm really ready to have a big season and show what I'm capable of. So
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, AD, we really appreciate you taking the time. We wish you the best of luck this season. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Take care, Aaron. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Bye, Aaron. All right. Well, Matt, that was a great interview. I was glad to talk with Aaron there. Just before we head to commercial, any takeaways on your end?
Well, I'll just say first, Brian, definitely I like to see that Aaron Davis has taken a bit more of a veteran step. I mean, it really does feel like just yesterday when he became a freshman at Bryant, starting things off, and now he's a veteran, which is just kind of crazy that we're at that point, but glad to see that he's taking into that role well.
Absolutely. It's really awesome to see that maturation process for him. I know, we talked about it. He battled with injuries last year and he's able to now come back and, try to establish himself as that veteran player on the team. And he can't even believe that he's in this situation. He's saying that, just 2 years ago, he was, the freshman trying to figure out everything on his end. And, now he's trying to teach the players right from wrong and showing them the ropes. And, it's still a learning process for him, but I think that's something that's crucial for him now to become a leader in his own right. So I'm really excited to see what Aaron's going to do this season. I think that he's poised to have a big year under Coach Christian in this new system. I hope that him and the rest of the Bulldogs and the team can thrive in 3 weeks' time. Can't wait to see what they'll do against Siena. But Matt, we're up against the commercial break now. We'll throw it over to there real quick. And then when we're back, we'll be joined alongside by Bryant head football coach Chris Merritt to break down that game against Brown, their recent shout out from Coach Gruden, and a whole lot more. You're listening to 990 WBOB. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour here on 990 WBOB. We're about to be joined in a couple minutes by our second guest of the evening, Coach Chris Merritt. But before we do that, we'll just pay the bills real quick and just say that tonight's next guest is also brought to you by the Sprout Co-working phone lines for all your co-working needs, large or small. Visit sproutcoworking.com. Coach Merritt will be joining us in just a couple minutes. But Matt, before we get into that, just obviously as we look ahead, Bryant ended up dropping a close one against Brown this past Friday night under the lights, 29-19. There was some close, there were definitely some good takeaways that you'll be able to make from that one. I think that all things considered, they're happy with this bye week coming up right now. They can't wait to get into that. And I think that, in their own right, it's going to be good. It's going to be good timing there.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. I mean, I think this team definitely does need a bit of rest and a bit of recouping and figuring out what they need to do to get it right. Because after this, it doesn't get any easier. They take on the best of the best that the CAA has to offer, and that of the URI Rams in just a couple of weeks. And I think that will be the biggest test that this team has had, excluding FBS matchups, when we get to that game in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that that test, first off, coming out of the bye week, is going to be that matchup against the defending CAA champions in URI. So I know that Bryant had a great, meeting with them last year, so that'll be something to really look ahead to. But yeah, it's going to be obviously a lot of things considered there. We're going to see how that all goes, but looks right now that we have our next guest joining us on the line with Coach Chris Merritt. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, Brian. How about yourself?
Doing good, Coach. All right. Well, hey, we already paid the bills, got you welcomed in here. So we'll just start things right off with your opening thoughts from this past weekend and take it from there.
Yeah, I really think the guys came out and played their hearts out. Offensively, things were kind of rough there for us in the second half. After starting off the game pretty strong, Jaden Kiefner played his butt off, running the football as well as throwing the ball. But they're just the third quarter, the middle eight, and that's what got us. Not being able to answer the two quick touchdowns by Brown in the third quarter hamstrung us a little bit. Now we did score at the end of the third quarter, but at the end of the day, the most important quarter that we needed to lead ended up being the fourth. And hate to sound like a broken record when I say this, but we're not going to win too many games if we keep losing the turnover battle. We're just simply, I don't believe that we've, aside from one game this year, have won the turnover battle, and we can't keep giving the opponents the ball more than we have it and expect to be successful.
Sure. Coach, obviously you mentioned it in your opening statement with Jaden Kiefner. For him, coming in and being able to, play under the circumstances, with Brennan being out for the time being with that shoulder injury, and then with Jaden being able to come in and have 220 all-purpose yards, and then have the success that he's had so far. Just give us your thoughts on what you've been able to see from him so far in this role.
Sure. Well, he's getting better week by week because he's getting all the practice reps. He was battling for the second team spot. Really kind of came into the season as our number 3, and he saw what a number 3 would see when it came to reps. And he has progressively gotten better and better since he's been handed the keys. And then we've kind of tailored some things in our offense to give him the opportunity to hurt the defense with his feet. He's getting better at making correct decisions when it comes to giving the ball and pulling the ball. And he's also throwing the ball well as well. It's just a deal where he's just got to continue to speed that clock up inside of his head, get the ball out quickly. I think the best pass protection is the ball out quicker. And he's getting that piece. It's just gonna be a process as we continue on this season to just keep getting him the reps that he needs until Brennan's ready to come back.
Absolutely. When you look at Jaden's skill set of having the dual threat aspect to his game, and then when you look at Elijah Elliott being able to still affect the game on the ground in this one with 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, has there been more of an emphasis on your end on trying to establish the run these past couple of weeks than others in the light of Brennan's injury, or has it still kind of been the same game plan?
Sure. Well, I mean, we've put a stronger emphasis on running the football this year, regardless who's a quarterback. We just have tailored some things in our offense to take advantage of the strengths of who's playing quarterback. I think it becomes very difficult to defend the run when you have to worry about the tailback having the ball as well as the quarterback. It kind of divides the defense a little bit, and that just poses a threat that whether it's either that or some of the RPOs that Jaden threw the other night, it keeps the defense honest, and it makes them cover 53rd and 53 yards wide of the field. But it's not like because of the injury we've focused on more on the run. No, we've always focused on the run all season. We're just tailoring other pieces of our offense so that Jaden can take advantage of what he brings to the table.
Absolutely. As you guys head into this bye week now, this will kind of be the last question of the football sense. We'll get into a quick human interest story, obviously, after this. But as you guys head into the bye week, what will kind of the emphasis of, kind of be, with this time to recoup, kind of get the guys rested and look ahead for this next stretch of the season?
Sure. Well, we need it. First off, we need to heal up. It couldn't have come at a better time. We've got a bunch of guys that are banged up. that need to take this week and take that opportunity to recuperate and come back full strength, including Brennan. This is a deal where it's going to give us more time to heal, and then it's also a time of development. We're going to spend a lot of time this week. We're going to dip our toe into the pool when we talk about Rhode Island, but we're really going to spend this week developing our younger players and getting those guys lots of reps in practice, because they automatically found themselves in the two deep. So they're one play away. So we need to make sure that we develop them this week.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, obviously off the field this week, there was some exciting things to see with Bryant as well. I know that, over the weekend, we saw that former Super Bowl champion head coach John Gruden did an unboxing for you guys on his social media with Barstool Sports. And I know that you guys sent him, kind of a care box with some different memorabilia and some gear in it. And he, gave you guys a shout out on there. And Coach Gruden, obviously a legend of the game, has been, around it, doing his thing for a long time. Just, talk about that moment, how cool it was to see, someone like him represent the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. I think this year's been a solid year for us when it comes to getting some national recognition in a lot of areas, whether it was the FBS win, second week of the season, or in this case, people still think of Bryant, and ironically, Coach Gruden called us Bryant College a couple times.
I heard that a couple times.
People still think of Bryant as a small northeastern Bryant regional college, and we're starting to expand a little bit, expand our footprint out there. Now it's national exposure on something like that. It's always big and kind of neat for everybody. And I can't begin to tell you the numbers of text messages and phone calls. I loved how everybody sent me the video like I didn't see it. It was kind of neat there.
Yeah, it was funny. I know. Like you said, I think with that old kind of, thought process of Bryant, it was almost kind of always thought as like the best kept secret in the Northeast. And, Bryant has really been able to break that mold and showcase, all that they have to offer, both athletically and academically. It's really awesome. It was a really cool video to see. Obviously, he shouted you guys out, and then he had a really cool moment where Christian Fourier, who is a Super Bowl champion with the Patriots, legendary tight end, is now a professor at Bryant University, and he read a letter and is actually going to be teaching a class, and Coach Gruden's going to appear on a Zoom call with that class, and it's really really cool thing to see. I think. Obviously, looking large scale as to what this is for the program, and seeing these kind of people being able to impact Bryant on the academic side. Just, how unique is this to have like these kind of people come in and be able to, really represent Bryant on that kind of a stage?
I think it's awesome. I think it's Bryant University. I mean, I think that in the last 25 years, Bryant has really pushed the envelope a little bit and put themselves out there, whether it was requiring the major and the minor, picking up football, investing all of the financial resources that Bryant has done in our athletics, which honestly is the front porch of the school. Bryant athletics, when the fall season rolls around and kids are energized and campus is going well, it's a great feeling to have that on campus. And as we continue to expand our academic piece, we're not just we're not just a business school anymore. We've got other things now that we can take advantage of, and Christian does a great job, and Chris Morse, our communications head there on campus, has got some really neat classes going for these kids. So I think that's excellent that Christian's here teaching that class. I know he had Bill Cower, coach from the Steelers, on with him last week, and we're looking forward to have Coach Gruden. But listen, this is something that we don't just do it here at Bryant. We do it big.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you taking the time to, talk about the, stuff on the field and off. It's a great time to be a Bulldog. We'll wish you guys the best of luck in this bye week. We'll talk with you next week as you guys gear up for Rhode Island. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Coach.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Matt, we're going to take a quick break, but when we're back, we'll be joined alongside by Jaida Guerra of the Bryant women's basketball team. We'll break down her, recent, arrival to Smithfield and everything with that. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour here on 990 WBOB. Brian Costa, Matthew Carvalho in it for the final stretch of the evening. Before we get to our final guest, I just want to say to everyone listening to join the WBOB team this fall, watching your Bryant Bulldogs at Burns Stadium. Single game tickets are now on sale at BryantTickets.com. For more on the Bulldogs, listen to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour, which you're listening to right here on 990 WBOB. Matt, we're heading into our final guest appearance of the evening, and we just want to say that tonight's guests are once again brought to you by the Sprout Co-working phone lines for all your co-working needs. Large or small, visit sproutcoworking.com. Now on the Sprout Co-working expert hotline is Jaida Guerra from the Bryant women's basketball team. Jaida, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Well, hey, for you, obviously, it's your first year here in Smithfield, obviously, as, you know, a freshman getting acquainted. Just how has this been this whole summer into fall? How's that whole process been for you so far?
Definitely a lot of learning and teaching, but nothing that I wasn't ready and prepared for. And honestly, hopefully willing to do some big things this season.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a lot of veterans on this team that, you know, have had some good experiences in the past, last season, obviously going to the first ever America East semifinals in program history. You know, they faced Vermont in that one and fell up there. But, you know, as they look ahead to this season, just how have they been able to welcome you into this program, and just talk about the mindset and, you know, the goals and expectations they've set for you?
Honestly, having veterans on this team have been a very help being a freshman, especially people that are always willing to help me. Even when I make a mistake, like they're always there to have my back and lift me up. And I think that their expectations for me are very high, and I'm hoping that I can meet those standards that they are setting. And as a team, our expectations are also really high. Definitely want to get dancing. I was listening to AD. Definitely want to go dancing. Definitely want to make it to the finals of the American East. And yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a goal in everyone's mind. You know, for yourself, obviously, you know, when you look at your recruiting journey and getting to this point, just talk about what led you to choosing Bryant.
What led me to choose Bryant was because it truly felt like home. Everybody was so welcoming here. Like everybody that I met, not even like coaches, teammates, people who were like around campus when I came on my visit, everybody was so welcoming, and it just felt like home to me, compared to any other schools that I visited.
Mhm. Uh, for yourself, you're part of a really large recruiting class coming in. You know, being a part of this team with under Coach Lynn and her new staff. Obviously, she's bringing in a whole new coaching staff as well. Just how has that been? You know, getting to work for you know, getting to play under Coach Lynn and have that experience with her. How has she been?
Honestly, it's been great. I couldn't have asked for a better leader. I guess you can call her a better coach, to be honest. She has very high standards for us, and I think that that is amazing for a coach to have, and for a coach to believe in you. That goes for all of us, honestly. And like we said, our expectations are really high, and working out the kinks now so that it can all lead to our end goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for you now, obviously looking ahead to this season, you know, being a newer player coming into it, and with this being kind of an established roster and having some transfers and some new additions, obviously with recruitment and, you know, freshmen coming in as well. Just talk about how you feel that your game will translate to the college game and help this group in particular.
Honestly, I'm not looking to do anything special. I'm just looking to be a team player and give whatever the team needs. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about we. And at the end of the day, we're a team. So
Yeah. And then for yourself, obviously, uh, you know, I had a chance to watch your video on the Bryant Bulldogs social pages where you kind of talked about your game and what you bring to the table. For these fans, what can, if for the people that maybe hadn't watched that, just explain kind of like a little bit about your game and what fans at the Chase will get ready to see in a couple weeks.
A lot of energy. I'm always filled with a lot of energy, whether I'm on the bench, whether I'm on the court. I feel like I have a lot of energy. Working on communicating very well on the court, and even when I'm not playing, just talking it up, being loud, and just a very energetic player that is always hungry for more and always just wants to work hard.
Absolutely. You guys are going to be a very hungry team this year in the America East. I was talking to AD. It's only about 3 weeks away from the opening day for you guys as well. You guys are going to be at home, obviously, for that one, while men's basketball will be on the road. You guys are going to host CCSU in that one. Just how excited are you for this moment to get the chance to play Division I college basketball, have that moment? How excited are you in this time?
Honestly, I'm so excited. If you would have asked me 4 or 5 years ago if I think I would be here right now, I honestly would say no. And just being here, it honestly is a blessing and an opportunity. But I'm so excited. And honestly, that starts tomorrow.
Just talk about some goals that you have for yourself, looking ahead to, this season. Obviously, you talked about the team goals of trying to go dancing and having all those aspirations for yourself. Obviously, is there anything personal that you kind of have on your plate just in terms of what you want to achieve for yourself this season?
I just want to be consistent and just be a team player, whatever the team needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jaida, we really appreciate you taking the time. I know we're up against the final minutes of it now, so we just wanted to thank you for coming into the program, and we wish you the best of luck this season, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care, Jaida. All right, well, Matt, that wraps up our final interview of the night. A great, successful another 3 interviews on our 10th episode. Just any of your thoughts before we end up signing off for the night?
Well, firstly, Brian, just congratulations on episode number 10. 2.5 months. Here we are.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, I got to say, I can't do it without your help in the studio doing the 1s and 2s. I have to thank also Tristan Hobbs for putting together this great group of guests every single week. He's been great to work with in that process, and it's been a great time. Especially all the guests that have been on so far. I just want to thank them. They've been nothing but great. So I'm looking forward to what the future of the program has going forward. I think that we're going to have some really exciting episodes coming up. I know we've talked about some things off air as to the future of the program with, men's and women's basketball starting up, as we get into crossover season into the winter and as things start to ramp up there. So it's going to be really exciting. Can't wait to get into all that and more in the next upcoming weeks. But Matt, if you guys are looking to find other episodes of the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour or just watch episodes back, they're available on BryantBulldogs.com or on the Down to the Wire Spotify and streaming platforms, which you can find on my personal page at down.tothewire on Instagram. So if you're interested in finding that, we also post clips from the show and different announcements like that. So anything that you're interested in, make sure you go follow us on there, and we'll make sure to promote this episode as soon as it's out. So we thank everyone for tuning in tonight, listening, and we'll be back here next week. You're listening to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WBOB.
The preceding program contained views, opinions, and thoughts that do not necessarily represent those of 990 WBOB, its management, or its staff. So now you know.